It's Saturday, and you know what that means. Welcome everyone to another episode of Stan Hansen Saturday. This is episode number 6. I'm your host, Fredo Esparza, and this week we look back at Stan Hansen challenging Antonio Inoki for the NWF heavyweight title in Nagoya, Japan. This match was held by New Japan Pro Wrestling on its September 2nd, 1977 show. Stan Hansen is accompanied by Blackjack Mulligan. It took me a while to figure out who it was just because I was used to seeing Mulligan later in his career, and he was much thinner at this point in time. He was a kind of like a Barry Windham, later a slightly older Barry Windham when he was a little more thicker. For many of you who saw Barry Windham when he was younger, he was very thin, but as he got older, he got a little bit thicker, still very tall. Same thing with Blackjack Mulligan, only the younger version wasn't as heavy as he was as he got older. Early portion of the match was very mat-based, with both staying on the mat. Hansen tried to keep Inoki grounded, and whenever Inoki would get back up, he would try to get some kicks in on Hansen. At one point early in the match, Hansen kicked Inoki out of the ring, and Inoki took a little bit longer to get back in, including he would jog outside just to get to get the blood flowing back to his legs. Once Inoki got back in the ring, he started going after Hansen's legs with some kicks. Then they went back to being more wrestling on the mat, with Hansen getting a side headlock reversed into head scissors by Inoki. Inoki then switched that over to a cross arm breaker. At this point in the match, Mulligan started teasing that he was going to get in the ring whenever Hansen was in trouble, and Hansen was in trouble at this point in time. Inoki then focused most of his attack on Hansen's left arm. Hansen then slammed Inoki and landed a couple of elbows on him. He went for a body slam. This was a cool spot. He went for a body slam, but Inoki reversed it into a head scissors, and then he went to a scissors variation where he had Hansen's shoulders locked up, and he actually even tried to get a pin with that. Very cool spot in the match. Hansen then reversed that into a leg lock, but Inoki was able to pick up Hansen across his shoulders and slam him down. Inoki even tried to go for an octopus hold on Hansen, but Hansen was able to break out because he was near the ropes. Hansen pretty much stuck to kicks and punches and forearm smashes at Inoki at this point. I think this was about the 10-minute mark where he just kept going with that. Then Inoki actually hit a couple of drop kicks on Hansen. He whipped Hansen into the ropes and backdropped him and went for the pin. This is when the match started to speed up a little bit. Hansen kicked out and punched Inoki immediately. He dropped the knee across Inoki's lower back. Hansen then beat on Inoki near the ropes. The referee tried to pull him off. He even pulled him by the hair, but he still could not pull him off. Hansen started using the ropes to hurt Inoki's legs. There were 2 other referees that were ringside that actually went to try to break the hold up by Hansen. And so you have one referee in the ring and you have the other 2 outside. Blackjack Mulligan gets up and shoves both the referees that are outside the ring away from Hansen. They then got mad at Mulligan and told him to go sit back down. Inoki was able to break out of the hold, but Hansen kicked them to the outside. While he was outside the ring, he kept grabbing onto his left knee. Inoki gets back in the ring and chops Hansen, knocking him down with a big right. That was what followed up. Then they both started exchanging forearms. Hansen hit a big boot across Inoki's head. That led to Hansen taking up. This was about a good 3 minutes of this match where Hansen just started beating up on Inoki with punches, kicks, double axe handles across Inoki's back. Inoki then fought back with some punches. He knocked Hansen around the ring. Inoki then went for a shoulder tackle that knocked Hansen down. He was going to go for a second one, but Hansen tackled him instead. Hansen then was going to go for a backbreaker, but Inoki was near the ropes. It was basically one of the older over-the-shoulder backbreakers that Hansen was going to go for, but Inoki was close to the ropes, so he was able to kick off the ropes and actually reverse the hold and went for a pin attempt on Hansen. Hansen kicked out, and again, he went for the over-the-shoulder backbreaker, but this time, when he was trying to get Inoki properly placed in the hold, he swung him around and hit the referee, and that sent the referee over the top rope to the floor. Then Hansen and Inoki got tangled up on the ropes and ended up going over the top rope to the floor. While on the outside, the referees were checking on the two referees that were ringside went and checked on the one referee that got knocked down. Mulligan then attacked Inoki, grabbed Inoki and threw him towards Hansen, and Hansen caught him with a lariat. Hansen and the referee went back into the ring. Inoki was still on the outside. The referee that was knocked out, who was brought back into the ring, started to do the count on Inoki. You could see Seiji Sakaguchi telling the referee that Mulligan had interfered. Then you have a second referee that steps into the ring and tells the other referee that about Mulligan's interference. Some fans start to throw some trash into the ring. Hansen and Mulligan start to celebrate as if Hansen had just won the match, but then the referee pulled down Hansen's arm and told him that the match was still going on. Inoki got back into the match. Inoki and Hansen continued to fight, with Inoki slamming Hansen's leg on the ring apron. He went back into the ring and body slammed Hansen. Hansen then went for a lariat but missed. Inoki then caught Hansen with a backdrop suplex and went for the pin. And that was how Inoki won the match. This was a good match. It was more on the mat than most of Hansen's other matches against the top stars of Japan. Match picked up in the final 10 minutes. Had a very strong finish, especially the whole everybody arguing over Blackjack Mulligan's interference. But I would say this, of the matches we've seen, I would probably put this behind the Kobashi, the great Kobashi match from '93, and the Choshu match that I recapped as well. I would put this probably as the third best match that I've seen within the first 6 episodes. Like I said, this had a really strong finish, but the early portion was very slow just because they stayed on the mat. But overall, I would say it was still a good match. And Inoki always, his charisma, he gets a lot of the fans very much involved in the matches, and just because of how popular he was. So yeah, I definitely would recommend watching this match. It was good, like I said. Definitely, there's going to be other matches that we'll be recapping that will feature Hansen and Inoki, but this was kind of something I wanted to watch because this was a title match, and I was also pleasantly surprised to see Blackjack Mulligan in it. So definitely, if you guys have time, give this match a look. Be sure, once again, to subscribe to the Retro Wrestling YouTube channel, and remember, every Saturday we celebrate by recapping a Stan Hansen match. Thanks again, everyone, for listening.